So first thing is you take a look at the layers, you can see that this middle layer is the one that has the transfer image, and the top layer is the one that's highlighted, and that's the one that I'll be able to draw on. So you have a couple things. You have the lettering, and you also have all these little drippy pieces from the lettering coming down, so it's trying to add to that section. So you could essentially do this with the pen tool, because you're trying to create that shape. And I just zoom in, and once I'm on this selected layer here, it's going to give me that image. So I can just try to click with these, so it's just giving me the straight lines. I have it filled with white, so when I back up here, I'm trying to click and draw this, and when I come down to this drippy part, I have this section, and I may want to lose the white shape, so I'm going to turn that off and just click and drag, and this is going to give me the handles that I'm looking for. And if I zoom in so you can see it, and again, just trying to create this outer edge as it builds up, and we'll try to use the shape builder. I'm just backing this up and creating this outside piece, and if it gets to a corner segment, just remember that your next line will be coming out right at that corner's edge. And now I can come all the way down to the bottom of this section right here. So I'm just clicking and dragging this piece so it comes down to here. And again, as you click and drag, the two handles come out, which makes it just a little bit easier to pinpoint, but you're trying to come at the midpoint distance of this. And if it is a corner point, you just click on it, and it'll set it to a corner and make a crisp turn when you get up to that section. And just wrapping this around. So I'm just treating this as one big shape. I could have used the lettering, but this might be a little bit easier and more accurate. So it's just a little bit of the pen, and hopefully you'll notice how the pen tool does a lot of different items here. But it does, like I said, it does create the shape. It's hard to see. It's got like a giraffe texture going on there. So it gives me that curve. And then it goes all the way up and closes this. So now I'm just hitting Command minus just to zoom out of this. And the fill is in front, so if I just give it a color, you'll see that that's in front of it. But I want to hide it first because I want to do the inside parts of this logo here. So I'm just going to click and try to match up what he has right there. And do the same for this. And just going to back up and give all of these some color just so you can see the difference of what's happening. Here's a kind of a green, this interior part. Just give it a purple and a red. Okay? So these have to be cut out, and what it does, it makes what they call a complex shape. I draw a selection box around it so everything is highlighted, and I'm just moving it to show it to you. And then Edit Undo puts it exactly back where it belongs. But this tool right here has the shape builder. It has two little circles, about the 7th tool down. When I click on it, you'll see a little plus sign next to the mouse, and it makes it a shape. If I hold the Option key, it turns to a minus sign, and that allows me to just click on these two shapes, and it makes that particular image right there. Okay? And I'll just back out just a little bit, and I'll put a copy of it with the Option clicked and hold it over, set it off to the side. Now when I come in here, I can actually click on the colors. I can use all the different aspects. If I go in the swatches panel up at the top, there's different patterns you can choose. He looks like he has some kind of pattern going on here. And clicking into the side here, I can come down to patterns and just click on, you can't see it, but it gives you these options of patterns that he has. So he kind of has like a little giraffe texture in there, but just to show you, you can make a pattern, but that's where they're located, and just give you that section. And then the last part is he's got this kind of fire flame type thing happening again, using the pen tool to illustrate that. It's going to give you that selection. And again, as you see that you have a little bit of the fill in there, I'm just going to turn that off so I can get around it. And here I'm just kind of clicking, dragging the handles. You're trying to go into the midpoint distance. And then here's a corner point, just kind of stop it right there. And just builds that piece up. So when you click and drag, you can see the handles come out. Again, it goes all the way up to the top of this. And this piece comes all the way down. Again, you're not sure. You're kind of making that decision of how this is supposed to be, whether it's supposed to come down and cover the background or just give it that shape. But you can click off on the tool and it'll deselect everything. And now you can come back in and take a look at some of these pieces. Now you could use the pencil tool because that gives you a little more free-form drawing. So when I just click on this, you can kind of see some of these lines. And just so you know, when I'm drawing this, I can double-click on the pencil tool, and the options come up for this where it is more accurate or more smooth. So depending on which direction you click on, you can experiment to see what happens to the line when you do this. So you can kind of go for a smooth, textured line, building this part up. So it gives you a little bit of a freedom for that part. Okay. So here it's just kind of giving you that. And then zoom out of this so you can see it. Now, let's move this guy out of the way. Once I have this, I can select all of these lines. In other words, to get them, I have to select everything because now it's all connected. But with the Shift key held down, I can hold the Option and Command key, and it'll deselect this one. So it gives you that option to move these guys separately. Okay, so you can change the overall look of thickness of the line. So this outside one, I can make it a little bit thicker. And as long as it's the first one in the foreground here, I can change the coloring of it. I can stretch this panel out to get some color choices in here. And that gives you a little bit of a look-see to it. So, like I said, each one you can select one at a time. Hold the Shift key down and you can grab them all in succession. And that gives you this one, so I can click on this part. I can go to the thickness of here, and right next to it in this uniform, I can change the direction of it that way. And that gives me this overall kind of look for it. So it's a fill in the stroke. Like I said, I'll give you a little bit of a connectivity to it. And then once you have it again, just go to the layers and hide the image. You can hit the Tab key to get rid of the items and zoom into it. Use the spacebar to get a picture of it. And just do the Command Shift-4 to make yourself. The spacebar lets you move that selection around, and that gives you that